Good evening, a very warm welcome to the live coverage of round 5 for the Formula Racing League Le Mans Ultimate Season 2. Apologies for being a little late on air tonight, running a little bit behind. The commentators tonight, myself, running a little bit behind, so please forgive me on that one. But we're here, we're in the comms block. I've run all the way up from the pit lane at Monza, battled the searing heat, and we're here live on air to bring you qualifying. Qualifying has just gotten underway, so yeah, we're a little bit behind schedule, but the action is on your screens right now and with you for the next hour and a half, hour and 45 or so, with the race coming up in 15 minutes time. But we're currently watching Francesco Adamu go purple in the first sector and green in the middle sector on the first round of qualifying laps. Johannes Priest currently setting the pace with a 1:34.6 and not far behind. How close that is with Adam Sesplar in provisional P2, and a few tenths back is Brandon Geitz and Adam Moden. But Adamu currently purple first sector. What can he do as he's coming across the line? Lap time, target time of 1:34.6. Can Adamu improve? He does, and it's a provisional P2. And look at that! Wow, an absolute whisker between the two. You can't even get a credit card between the gap between the top three there. I mean, if it stays like, let's just end qualifying there, because that is some screenshot of qualifying times between the top three. We're on board with Johannes Priest, who's going purple in the first and second sector, and he's now coming down up to Parabolica. Let's see if he can nail this last corner. Such a tricky corner with the traction, and you've got to bring the car all the way to the left, and then it's just full throttle as early as you can, keep it pinned, and he improves of 34.3. So over to you, Francesco Adamu, Adam Sesplar. Where's Adamu actually? So he's gone quicker as well. He's going to be the first one across the line between Adamu and Sesplar. Brandon Geitz is back there as well, 3 tenths. So again, he's not out of contention. 6 tenths for Brandon Geitz. Adam Moden 6 tenths back as well. Then it's quite a lengthy gap there backwards for Timo Braun. So let's just bring you actually just the hypercar standings up, because the GT3s are not out on track just yet. There you go, you can see the full standings of the hypercars as Pedro Sodrin not yet set a qualifying time. So across the line, Adamu, he does improve, but it's not enough. So where is Adam Sesplar? Here he is. Let's go on board with him. So if you are watching the live stream, thank you for joining us again tonight. It's been a fantastic season so far. Please do drop a like on the video, whack the subscribe button, and hit the little bell icon as well to get notified when Formula Racing League TV is live. And there is plenty of action coming this weekend. We'll get through that at some point later on, but I'll bring you what's coming up this weekend on Formula Racing League TV. But right now we're watching Adam Sesplar coming across the line. He's got to find 3 tenths to claim provisional pole position. Can he improve? He doesn't this time around. Adam Moden currently sitting provisional P4. He's gone slower in the first sector. He's just trying to get some heat into those tyres. There's Dominic Illinger. He's on an outlap. Timo Braun in the BMW. So let us know where you're watching from tonight. Let us know who you're supporting. Let us know how you're doing. Feel free to put any comments in the live chat. I will get round to keeping an eye on those throughout the next 90 odd minutes or so. Johannes Priest just missed that. Johannes Priest. Oh, sorry, I thought he went purple. He hasn't. Oh, you can tell it's been a long day so far at work, can't you, for me? I just, my telemetry kind of flashed up. I saw like his purple box flash up. I thought, oh, you know, it's Priest going quicker, but he's not. He's actually gone slower. So I'm not sure who I saw who went purple there. Just looking down the line telemetry to see who that's referring to. Someone's gone purple in the first sector. It might be Adam Moden. No? Yes, it has. Adam Moden's gone purple. There you go. That explains it. 31.4 in the first sector, which is 2 tenths quicker than Johannes Priest. So we'll just see what Johannes Priest is. Brandon Geitz slots it on the front row of a 34.3. So Johannes Priest half a tenth behind, and then Francesco Adamu 3 tenths back. But can Johannes Priest respond? He's gone purple in the middle sector. He can't. So where is Adam Moden? Because he was the one who's gone purple in the first sector. He's gone purple in the middle. Can he make it 3 purple sectors in a row and get this number 50 Ferrari in provisional pole position? He's got a target lap time of 34.3. Brandon Geitz' qualifying is over. He's in the pits. He's done what he can do. Where is Adam Moden? It's improved, but it's only good enough for the second row. That is P4 for Adam Moden. Where's Francesco Adamu? He is parked up. That's his qualifying done. Johannes Priest, I think he's done. So I think that is pretty much the checkered flag. I think Brandon Geitz here has secured pole position in the hypercar category and pole position overall, because the GT3 certainly won't beat it. Dominic Illinger is still on a flying lap, but he's not improved in the middle sector. He's got to find 7 tenths. He's got to find quite a lot actually to even improve from where he is. He's 3.5 tenths back from Adam Sesplar in P5. I think he's even boxing. Oh no, he's not. He's going through. Illinger does not improve. João Pedro Sodra is still on track. Jan Barth is still out on track. Chris Jones and Maurizio Savona are all still getting these final laps in. But Brandon Geitz is your pole sitter here at Monza for round 5 of this season. Phenomenal drive from him in qualifying. Can he convert it into a race win? We're going to find out in about 10 minutes time. João Pedro Sodra goes P8 with that time. So let's just switch our attentions to the GT3s, because they're all starting to head out onto track for their outlaps, and then we'll give you a full rundown of the qualifying order at the end of this session. It's very warm today in the UK, very warm. It's a little bit late getting back and getting home, getting all set up, getting dinner down just before coming on air, so that explains my lateness tonight. But I hope everyone's got had a good week at work or at school, university, college, whatever you've been doing this week. I hope it's been good. I hope you're looking forward to some more exciting action here in season 2 of Le Mans Ultimate and FRL, because it's been a cracking few races. If you've been with us since the start, you will know how good these races have been, and Monza is going to serve treats tonight. I suspect Turn 1 is going to be fantastic to watch, as Joseph Chadha is going to start his first flying lap. We've got a great onboard camera shot. Let's see what he's doing. Let's get on board with the telemetry as well to see his brake and throttle inputs, and Joseph Chadha will take us through this lap at Monza. So into Turn 1. Through exit of Turn 2, now Curva Grande, Turn 3. It's full throttle all the way through here, keeping the car nice and side to the right hand side, bring it to the left a little bit, then back to the right. Pick your braking point for curves 4 and 5. Variante chicane. Oh, quite a bit of curve there on Turn 5 and the exit of the chicane, but good so far. So now the Les Mode corner, so Les Mode 1, Turn 6, right hander. Don't go too wide. Early as you can on the throttle, don't go too wide on the left. Again, pick your braking point, 50 metre board, stab the brakes over the curb. Again, don't go too wide, but on the power early. Exit of Turn 7 now, all the way down the straight underneath the famous Monza bridge, the old racing track, coming up to Ascari, which is turns 8, 9 and 10. So again, pick your braking point just over the 100-metre board. Go left, aggressive over the curbing, keep the car right, full throttle, watch the sausage curbs on the left, watch the sausage curbs on the right. Exit is a little bit squirrely for the Porsche, but turn 10 navigated for Joseph Chadha, and now it's all the way down to Parabolica. Now this is where the Porsche might struggle a little bit, I would imagine, on the rear end, but we're about to find out. So heavy braking into the right, a little bit of coasting, a few stabs of the throttle. Again, just struggling to get that power down ever so slightly while these tyres are still getting up to temp, but fairly clean lap from Joseph Chadha, and that was a lap of Monza. So where is this lap going to put him? It's going to put him on the front row, P2. P9 is currently held by his championship rival Kasprizik with a 49.9. Chadha 6.5 tenths off him, so Kasprizik setting the early pace. Let's just keep our eyes on the first sector time. So sector 1 was a 36.5 for Kasprizik there. Pavel Vetlugan's 36.9. We've got a couple of 36.7s flying in, so still 2 tenths. One man going quicker though than Kasprizik. Oh, he was going quicker. Leonardo Vera was purple, middle, first sector. 36.4, which was a tenth quicker than Kasprizik, but he's found the gravel. So that is not the optimum lap time for Leonardo Vera. Timo Biggett, however, is one driver to keep your eyes on because he has gone quick. 36.542. So it is purple sector, not as quick as Leonardo Vera, but Leonardo Vera, as we've just seen, has binned it. So what can Timo Biggett do? We're on board with the BMW driver now. Joseph Chadha has also gone very quick in the first sector. He's gone quicker than Kasprizik, but his sector 2 time has gone a couple of tenths slower. So Kasprizik looks like he's still improving as well, but Chadha is down on him this lap. Let's just see what Timo Biggett can do. We're on board with him. And we need to keep our eyes on Leonardo Vera because he was going very quick on the previous lap. So once he gets those gravel off his tyres and goes quicker next lap, we'll see what he can do. Timo Biggett across the line. It's P2. P2 for Timo Biggett. And where's Kasprizik? So he's just coming around turn 3. That's Joseph Chadha. I said Joseph Chadha was slower in sector 2, but he's obviously done a mega sector 3 because he's gone provisional pole in GT3, a tenth and a half quicker than Kasprizik. Danny Gould has managed to go 4th fastest. Carl Van Horn is 5th. So drivers who are not really seen at the sharp end of the grid this season thus far are just enjoying some fairly higher positions than normal. Craig Starkey as well, P6 is a driver we're not normally used to seeing this far back. Let's just go on board with Leonardo Vera though, because he's still not started his, yes he is, he's on the flying lap now. So yeah, 36.3, that is rapid, a rapid sector 1 time from Leonardo Vera. The Ford Mustang driver is on an absolute flyer again in sector 1. He's gone even quicker than he did last lap, and this lap, more importantly, he's managed to avoid the gravel. So always a little bit of rear sliding going on there for the Mustang, but he's managed to keep it going so far. We'll stay on board with Leonardo Vera because he's an absolute flying sector 1. Joseph Chadha has tried to match it, but he can't. 36.3 for Leonardo Vera, 36.4 for Joseph Chadha in the first sector. 36.6 for Kasprizik. 37 flat from Leonardo Vera. What is that compared to Joseph Chadha? 36.9. Oh, Kasprizik's gone quicker. Kasprizik and Chadha are literally battling out. We've seen these two go hammer on tongue at each other all season long, and they're serving up yet again in qualifying here at Monza. Kasprizik and Chadha front row, but Leonardo Vera, his sector times have been competitive. What can he do across the line? Can he get on the front row? Second row maybe. It is the second row. It's P3 for Leonardo Vera. Timo Biggett has stopped. Alex Nieto has got up to P5 as well, and Tom Curtin is P6. So again, good performances from those. Where is Joseph Chadha? He needs to respond to Kasprizik. Let's just see what these sector times now. So they're both, Kasprizik's now coming out of the pit. So sector 1 time for Joseph Chadha. We're about to find out. Across the timing line he goes. 36 flat. It is just purple. 36.6, beg your pardon, not 36 flat. That would have been absolutely rapid for first sector. Bigger and Nieto have boxed, so that's their qualifying done in P4 and 5 so far. Danilo Lysick and Kasperzik are both on outlaps. They're going to get time just for one more lap. Nigel Longdon is on an outlap as well. He's not yet set a time. Derek is P14, Mark Stewart P13, so those drivers struggling for pace this weekend compared to last. But look at this, Joseph Chadha is on a charge. Can he take the pole position out of the hands of Kasperzik here at Monza? However, Lugans jumped ahead of Alex Nieto and goes P5. So around Parabolica, the 91 Porsche. Is it going to be enough for Joseph Chadha? It isn't. It isn't. Oh, it's a Leonardo Vera. Leonardo Vera across the line and takes provisional pole off Kasperzik. A tenth quicker. Kasperzik he's got to get across the line. He's got 5 seconds remaining. I don't think he's going to have enough time. I think he's done. He is. Leonardo Vera is your pole sitter in GT3. What a lap. One of the drivers last across the line. A 49.5, 1/10 quicker than Kasperzik and Joseph Chadha. Wow. He's actually still going. He doesn't need to. The only other driver who's on a flying lap is Rudy Vermeulen. He's down in P11. Lysick is on the lap and Mark Stewart as well. How are we doing, Jan Barth? Good evening. Good to. I was going to say good to see you, but I can't see you. I can just see your names. Good to hear from you, Jan. Adam Moden. Good evening. Beating that Mustang at Monza, it's not going to be easy. Yeah, I mean that Mustang looks absolutely rapid, to be brutally honest. But I think Kasperzik and Chadha are going to give us a good battle. I think the top three are going to be very interesting to watch. Shout out as well to Curtin Vetlugans in P5 and 6. Yeah, very much. I did mention them actually. Tom Curtin P5 and Vetlugans. Vetlugans, I think that's probably his best qualifying of the season, if memory serves me correct. I don't think we've seen him that high before. As Lysick is actually going to be the last driver across the line here. He's currently P14. Can he improve? He does. So P5 for Danilo Lysick. So that's an impressive final lap from him. He needed to get that across the line because he was currently sat 14th on the grid. So he's just caused his mechanics out a bit of work. Luckily, damage refreshes before the race. So that just pushes Tom Curtin down into P6. So let's just bring you the session results, the starting order of this race in full. So front row is Brandon Geitz and Johannes Priest, P1 and 2. Row 2 is Francesco Adamu and Adam Moden, who was just briefly in the YouTube live chat there. Row 3 is Adam Sesplar and Dominic Illinger in P5 and P6. Row 4 is Timo Braun and João Pedro Sodra in P7th and 8th. Row 5, Patrick Den and Alex Alfonso. Jan Barth and Chris Jones heading up row 6 and P11 and P12. Row 7, Maurizio Savona and Cody Besselink. Chris Jones will be happy to be ahead of Besselink this weekend. Row 8, and this is your GT3, so Pole Sitter, Leonardo Vera and Kasperzik, P1 and 2, GT3. Row 2 for GT3 is Joseph Chadha and Timo Bigot. Danilo Lysick and Tom Curtin, row 10.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Pavel Vetlugans and Alex Nieto with strong qualifying positions on row 11. Row 12, Danny Gould and Craig Starkey. Row 13 is Cole Van Horn and Rudy Vermeulen. Longdon and Stewart, row 14. And last on the grid is Derek on row 15, all on his own on row 15. So those are your 29 runners and riders for this evening, and let's just head on board with the main man of this evening so far, which is Brandon Geitz. I just almost forgot who I was talking about there for a moment. Blimey. Okay, so let's just get everything up and ready for you for this race. There we go. Pole time is good enough for P1 here. Yeah, I mean, the first two races were really decisive in who was on the split 1 and split 2. So, yeah, fortunate for you in that situation. But, yeah, it's just how the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid, with the old splits.
Formation lap has started.
So, as we just heard from the race director in our left hand ear, formation lap is now underway. I'm just getting everything ready for the first few laps. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, round 5 of season 2, Masters of LMU, live on Formula Racing League, brought to you by Cube Controls, sponsored by Cube Controls. The prizes up for grabs this year are absolutely epic, and the drivers are going all out for the prizes this season, and we're going to have another 1 hour 20 minutes of pure multi-class racing here at Monza. We're about to go green in about 10 to 11 seconds time, probably even less than that. We're green flagged now. Forget 10 seconds, we're green flagged now. Brandon Geitz leads the field away. He's got the Peugeot sat alongside him and Johannes Priest. Adamu and Moden are sat in behind as well, the two Ferraris. So it's Peugeot versus Ferrari here at Monza. They go too wide. Geitz and Priest side by side. Moden and Adamu are also side by side. Cesplar's back there as well, so it's fairly clean. Turn 1 so far, a little bit of contact but nothing major. So it's Geitz and Priest still side by side as they go round turn 3. I think Geitz might even just be ever so slightly ahead, or is Priest? I'm trying to work it out who's who with the cars. Priest is just ever so ahead. So Priest into the second chicane he goes, so he leads. Priest, Johannes Priest leading this race. Brandon Geitz is P2, Adamu is P3, and look behind with Cesplar and Dominic Illinger, and João Pedro Sodra is in there as well. Car 83, car 50, Adam Moden. Adam Moden's had a moment. Adam Moden down to P6. We're just seeing what everyone's doing, and let's quickly jump on board with the GT3 because Kashrazik has got ahead of Leonardo Vera, so the Mustang has lost out at the start. Kashrazik flying off the grid. Leonardo Vera P2, Joseph Chadder is P3. Let's go on board with the GT3 Porsche. Just see the top 3 battle here on your screens. That's the Mustang getting a little bit loose. We'll bring you a full running order of everyone in a moment once the first few laps are over and done with, and just get the races. Is that Lysick? That's Lysick in the background going down the inside of Parabolica on Timo Biggert. So what a move from Daniel Lysick. I think it caught Biggert off guard. So he sent it down the inside of Parabolica. Let's go back on board with the hypercars because it is getting pretty close. Johannes Priest has already pulled a 1.2 second lead to Brandon Geitz. Adamu is under pressure a little bit from Adam Moden. Sorry, Moden is under pressure from Dominic Illinger. Dominic Illinger, the sister Ferrari, just having a little bit of a look. But nothing there. João Pedro Sodra as well, P7. A little bit of dirt running wide on the back. That's Alex Alfonso and Cody Besselink. It was. Chris Jones is P11. But I tell you what, it's actually been an extremely clean start for most drivers. As I say that, there's a cloud of dust just throwing up on the screen. I'm not sure who that was running wide, but there's not been a single hypercar that's been out of position, to be honest. So it has been a very clean start. And look at this, Joseph Chadder is all over the rear end of this Mustang. Kasperzik is already enjoying a 1.2 second lead in GT3. Behind Chadwick, you've got Lysick, Bigot and Pavel Lugens in a three-way battle. Let's bring these up on screen because look at this. You've got 3 BMWs, hammer on tongue. We've got support coming in on the YouTube live chat for Kasperzik. Kasperzik currently leading GT3. So is Bigot going to make a move on Lysick? He's just going to let off. He's going to let off the throttle a little bit early. So no return move for Bigot on Lysick. Back on board with Cessplat because Cessplat is closing up to the rear end of Francesco Adamu. 1.7 lead now for Johannes Priest. Adam Moding and Illinger. So Illinger's got ahead of Adam Moding, I believe. You can see how close it is between the two Ferraris through the Lesmo corners. On board with Illinger. And on board with Chris Jones because I think he's battling away with Cody Besselink. He is. He's side by side with Cody Besselink. And Besselink's got the inside. Chris is trying to have a switch back, is he? Trying to get the better exit. He's got to watch out for Maurizio Savona behind him. This is the battle for P10, 11 and 12 in hypercar category. And then Timo Bigot and Lysick still battling away, the two BMW drivers. A little look to the inside, just trying to put Danilo off. He's got to try that one another day because Danilo will see what he's trying to do the whole time. Here we go, that is Timo Bigot. He pulls to the right hand side of Danilo. Let's go with the trackside camera to see they're side by side going into Parabolica. Danilo on the left, Bigot on the right. Bigot's going to have the wider entry. Is he going to push him out wide? Danilo Lysick, he is. There's a little bit of contact between the two, but they leave each other enough room. So it's going to be a drag race now. It's BMW power all the way down the main straight. Bigot gets ahead, but Lysick is going to tuck in to that slipstream, what we're going to see right now. So is he going to go to the left? Is he going to go to the right? Bigot going extremely defensive, the inside line into turns 1 and 2. How is this going to end up? Who's your money on? Fingers on the buzzers. Lysick into the first corner. He's just ahead. He's going to be ahead of the oh, there's contact as well. I think that's Pavel Lugens. Lugens just nudges the rear end and gets ahead. Lugens has got to give that position back. Surely. Maybe not. We'll leave that up to the stewards. Let's not commentate on stewards. Let's just commentate on what's happening, what we're seeing in front of us. So Pavel Lugens goes ahead of both of them in one corner. I think we definitely saw him touch the rear end of Bigot, didn't we? And then I'm not sure how he got back past Danilo Lysick, but either way, it is what it is. Pavel Lugens is now P4, Lysick is P5, and Bigot is P6, so we see Lysick just go a little bit wide. The problem is, with all these three drivers battling away, it's just meant Danny Gould, Tom Curtin, Alex Nager can all close up. You can see the train that is forming in GT3. Craig Stark is even involved in this one as well. So there's this absolute train now forming in GT3. A fantastic action though. Let's just switch our attention to hypercar because we've got battles all over the track right now and it's really hard for me to keep up with every single one, so I do apologise if I'm kind of just all over the place at the moment, but we're just trying to wait for this race to settle down and pick up the battles on camera where we can. But we're on board with Dominic Illinger. He is 0.3 off Adam Cessplat and we can see that with the onboard cam. Let's bring you up the battle telemetry and we can see the 1v1 battle in the last lap, so you can see the live gap and you can see who's chasing who. So we've got Dominic Illinger and Adam Modin. And this is the battle for P4, 5 and 6. It's a three-way battle. Cars 50, 51 and 53. Sorry, 83, beg your pardon. The gaps out in front is 3.3 now for Johannes Priest, so he's really got this race pace nailed down so far compared to Brandon Geitz. Adamu is still hanging around as well, 1.7 off Geitz, 4.6 off the lead, and then Sesplar and Illinger is 6 and 7 seconds off the lead. So still, still within touching distance. These guys, certainly the top 6, Moden onwards is within touching distance of the leader, but certainly Geitz and Adamu are within touching distance, being under 5 seconds to Johannes Priest. Gaps in GT3, 1.4 for Kashrizik, his lead, compared to Leonardo Vera. He was a pole sitter in GT3, but he's fell back into P2, which brings me on to the positions gained and lost. Let's have a look to see who has gained and lost in each category. So let's bring up Hypercar first, and we'll see who we are the biggest winners, the biggest gainers, and the biggest losers in the field. So as you can see, the top 2, Priest and Geitz, swapping position. Adamu's where he was, Moden's down 2, Cody Besselink is up 4 from his qualifying position. He's got Chris Jones tracking him down. I know these two drivers got a little bit of history. Chris Jones was before this race was saying to our pit lane reporter that he was hoping to be ahead of Cody Besselink, and he might have a very good opportunity right now going into Parabolic here. Besselink's going to have the inside line. What kind of an exit is Chris Jones going to have in the Cadillac compared to the BMW? Going to try and tuck him behind to that slipstream. Oh no, he's not. He's gone on the inside. Almost avoid a little bit of paint trading going on between the Cadillac and the BMW, but Chris Jones has got ahead so far. But how's this going to convert into the braking zone? Because you can be ahead on the straight, but in the braking zone you could be different. So who's going to be the latest on the brakes? I think Besselink was just late on the brakes, but Chris Jones still goes. Oh, we've got contact behind. It's Maurizio Savona and Patrick Den. Contact into turn 1. It was always going to happen. It was always going to happen at Monza. Den and Savona coming together at turn 1, tripping themselves up. Jan Barr flies on through. And that has meant Cody Besselink lost out to Chris Jones. Oh, as we see Besselink just struggling there with a bit of a tank slapper on the BMW going into the second chicane. So I was going through who's gained and lost the most positions, and it just brought us onto that absolute carnage. So let's just switch our attention to GT3 and just again see where the winners and losers are. I've got yellow flags out as well. So Pavel Vetlugin's still hanging on to 4th position, and look at this, look at the traffic on the back straight. It's almost like a rush hour in Italy. Yeah, it's like it's 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. Everyone's trying to get home. Look at the amount of cars we've got all in one piece of tarmac. So we've got hypercars coming through, and we've got a battle between P4, 5 and 6, even P7, because Danny Gould is involved in that. Look at this. This is rush hour at Monza here on Formula Racing League TV. These drivers are going to somehow navigate the other category cars into turn 1. So this is Pavel Vetlugin's and Danilo Lysik. They're side by side again. There's contact. Lysik goes up the inside. They've got Biggett and Danny Gould behind as well. So Lysik has got ahead. Vetlugin's tucks in behind. Timo Biggett is trying to follow him as well, as with Danny Gould. So you've got all 4 cars, 3 BMWs, 1 Mustang, and we've got hypercars coming through as well. We've got Alex Nieto in the Porsche just trying to catch up to these guys and get involved. But he's seeing a piece of this action live on cinema. He thinks, I want to see a bit of this film. I want to be involved in it. So we've got a BMW hypercar coming through as well. As a BMW has a look. I think that's Danny Gould. It was Danny. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Timo Biggett having a look into second Lesmo, trying to put Vetlugin's off. But that is going to happen. We're on board now with Timo Biggett. The yellow flag's being waved up ahead as well, so we'll try and find out what happened to that. So again, going defensive into Ascari. Good driving from Vetlugin's. Biggett might have a better exit here, though. He's going to be in the slipstream. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? He's going to go to the... He's trying to go down the right, but Vetlugin's just putting that BMW almighty close, pushing him to the white line, pushing him to the grass. Timo Biggett down the inside, through past Pavel Vetlugens. Who's going to have the better exit? I think Danny Gould could be right on the money here. That's Mustang is going to have a perfect line exit out of Parabolica, and he's going to see if he can get involved and spoil the BMW party that he's currently found himself invited to. Turn 1 we go. Vetlugens into the braking zone ahead of the 46 Timo Biggett. That is Danny Gould getting involved as well. So Danny Gould now attacking Timo Biggett. This is just, if you attack one corner, you're defending the next. This is just absolute carnage in GT3 at Monza. We can't take our eyes off this. Was there a slight nudge in the rear of that BMW? Just see how the closing speed of the hypercars through the Lesmo corners they can cover. You just got how much tricky it is to be navigating around here. Oh, is that Vetlugens is going a little bit wide, dipping the left-hand tyres into the gravel? I think it was. So this has allowed Lysick to close up as we got. Just look at the traffic behind on camera. This is just brilliant action. Got a late afternoon sun here at Monza. The sun just dipping ever so nicely, and just brilliant conditions in Italy to be racing. I'm just going to go back to Craig Starkey and Alex Nieto, because Craig Starkey and Alex Nieto are also side by side into Parabolica. It's Porsche versus Mustang. Alex Nieto gets back ahead. Craig Starkey was initially ahead of the Porsche driver, but he now finds himself in that brilliant position of being in the slipstream. He pulls to the left hand side. Behind these is Rudy Vermeulen, just trying to get involved as well. So Rudy Vermeulen, the BMW driver, just trying to hang on to the front of this, or to the rear of this Porsche. And Mustang into the first heavy braking zone they go. The Porsche takes a lot of curb. Vermeulen, oh, who's that gone wide? There's a hypercar there off at turn 1. We don't know who that is, but we'll try and find out. But it's just absolute action all over. Let's just try and find out what's going on in hypercar, because hypercar, Jan Barth is hotting up just under a second now to Besselink, and Besselink's just made an almighty error. Besselink, how has he kept that car out of the wall? I do not know. The main thing is he's pointing it in the right direction and flashed the headlights to warn the Porsche that they're coming on through up to Ascari. I'm going to need a break, a lie down in a minute. This first 20 minutes has been absolutely non-stop action. Cody Besselink's rear view camera not quite working there, as our cameraman just toggles back to the trackside camera. So the battle for P11 and 12 on your screens. Jan Barth, Cody Besselink. Drag race now between the two BMWs into turn 1. Jan Barth still ahead and will be on the exit of turn 2. So let's just try and bring you a full rundown of where everybody is. So hypercar, Johannes Priest is leading this race, 5.6 second lead to Brandon Geitz, who's in P2. Francesco Adamu is 4.6 back in P3, and Adam Sesplar is P4. He's closing in on Francesco Adamu, actually 0.7 the gap now into Parabolica they go. Dominic Illinger P5 and Adam Moden P6. Timo Braun is P7 and João Pedro Sodra is P8. Alex Alfonso and Chris Jones is P9 and 10, and Jan Barth and Besselink P11 and 12 of Maurizio Savona is now the last running hypercar, because Patrick Den has retired from this race. He's now in the pits. Over in GT3, Kasprizik is your race leader, a gap of 1.6. That hasn't really increased in the last 10 minutes or so. It's been around about 1.6. So the battle for this race is certainly on, and do not go anywhere for the next hour, because Leonardo Vera is right on the tail of Kasprizik. 1.6 second gap for the Ford Mustang driver. Joseph Chada is P3. He's only 4.5 seconds off the lead as well. So again, Chada is not out of this either. Do not bet against him, the Porsche driver. Danilo Lysick has got back ahead. He's in P4. Bigot is P5. Danny Gould is P6. And Pavel Lugans, who was running up P4 at one point, is now back down into P7 in class. Alex Nieto is P8. Craig Stark is P9, Rudy Vermeulen is P10, P11 is Cole Van Hoor, Nigel Longden is P12, Mark Stewart 13th, and Derek is 14th. So those are your runners and riders and where we are after the first 20 minutes in this race. Let's just bring you the top 5 in each category so you can see the gaps, you can see what is happening for a few moments, and we'll also bring you the energy remaining in the top 5. So all 5 drivers on 45% energy remaining, which is interesting, and as you can see they're all on the dry tyre as well, with 0 stops yet for every driver. So that's just a summary as to where we are with 20 minutes gone and 1 hour remaining in this race. Whew, let's just catch a breath for a moment and just try and summarise what happened. That's just been an absolutely phenomenal first 20 minutes here, and yeah, if you cannot drop a like on the video for watching that action, then what can you drop a like for? Because that is just some fantastic sim racing and some really clean battles going on there. It's exactly what we want to see on a prime time TV slot on a Friday night at 8 PM. So that is your current standings in this race. I'll be back with you in 2 minutes. I'm back with you as we go into Ascari side by side with Adam Cesplar and Francesco Adamu, and Cesplar has got ahead. So the 83 car up into P3. So a great move from him. I think Francesco Adamu just made a mistake coming out of the second Lesmo, which made Cesplar have the opportunity going up into Ascari. So welcome back to the live coverage of round 5 season 2 Le Mans Ultimate, Masters of Le Mans Ultimate here on Formula Racing League TV, brought to you by the primary sponsor of this season, which is Cube Controls. If you are in the market for some handcrafted Italian, top quality Italian sim gear, then check out Cube Controls' website, and a huge thank you from everyone at Formula Racing League TV to them to supporting us this season. Their support has been invaluable as ever and very much appreciated. The battle for the prizes from Cube Controls is certainly heating up, because the championship standings is extremely close between a number of drivers, and the championship, I think, will go all the way down to the last race of the season, and we'll bring you the season calendar at the end of this race and just show you what's coming up in the weeks to come, as we're now on the second half, the second stint, the second leg, whatever you want to call it, of this season's calendar. So this is where the championship is going to get a little bit nail biting for some of these drivers. And so, you know, there's some big prizes up for grabs. Just bear with me for a moment, as I just had a message come in. I'm just seeing who this is from. It's I was just checking the chat, just to seeing a couple of drivers on the Discord there. I was just seeing what information I could pass on, but nothing really worthwhile to share. So, oh, Tom Curtin of D&F from GT3. Not sure what's happened there. It's Tom Curtin, but he's in the garage. That's race over for Tom Curtin. That is a shame, because he had a really strong qualifying performance. So, a shame for him. And I'll tell you what, the battle for P1 and GT3 has just all of a sudden just heated up, because Kaspersky, who has enjoyed a fairly competitive 1.5 second lead, that's just halved. Now down to half a second between the BMW and the Mustang drivers. So this is the battle for the lead of the race in GT3. Let's see if we can go on board with Vera. That's the camera shot I wanted, inside the Mustang, to see how well he's handling it, seeing how much work he's having to do on the steering wheel. So you just see the sun is just starting to set here at Monza as well. It really is fantastic lighting and fantastic time of day to be racing here at Monza. Just brilliant, kind of the sun just kissing certain parts of the track. It really is a beautiful circuit. And look at the BMWs make a mistake. That's Kaspersky. Kaspersky is around. I'm talking about the beautiful sunset and the beautiful sun kissing the track, when the BMWs kiss the wall. Kaspersky, the pressure of the Mustang hunting him down. Is it the pressure? Was it the commentator talking about the beautiful sunset? Did he just look at the sun for a split moment going into Lesmo 1? Kaspersky making a mistake. Fortunately for him, it's only dropped one position down into P2. Chadha has now just coming through behind 1.3. So the gap, how much has he lost? He's lost about 3 seconds. Just under 3.5 seconds, Kaspersky. But to be fair, he's done very well to keep the BMW going. You know how he has. He could have easily done a 180, really. You know, completely facing the opposite way on track. So he's done well to keep it going. How much damage he's carrying, we don't know. You can see the scuff mark there on the bump on the bodywork of the BMW. So blimey, massive moment there. Lead change in GT3. Leonardo Vera now leading this race GT3 category. Over in Hypercar, the gap, Johannes Priest is just absolutely perfection at the moment in terms of driving here. A lead of 8.4 seconds out in front from the Peugeot driver. So Johannes Priest is at one with the track tonight. Brandon Geitz, I just don't think has anything in response, but the pit stops are still yet to come, and we've seen leads in pit stops completely change. And just look at the energy remaining Priest has got 1% less than Geitz. Again, quite a range of difference between how much energy remaining. See the drivers towards the bottom of the pack, a lot more. Pedro Sodra 37%. That's almost 10% more than Johannes Priest. So yeah, interesting strategies going on with the energy saw there. And you can see that Adam Sesblot up 2 places now into 3rd place. On board, Timo Biggert, he's just starting to close up to Danilo Lysick. Battle for 4th place. Oof. A little bit wide, a little bit aggressive over the over the curbs for Timo Biggert. I can't get my words out tonight. It's been a long day, ladies and gents. It's been a long day. It's been a long week, but we're at the weekend. The week of grafting is over. It's now time to kick back on the weekend if you're not working, that is. Just enjoying some onboard camera shots and sounds from the BMW on board with Timo Biggert, the 46 WRT Beamer. Seeing how well both of them are handling the curve. Oh, entry into the second Lesmo for Lysick. He's going to compromise them down up into Ascari. In the slipstream now, Biggert. Defensive line for Lysick, just trying to break the toe a little bit. Maurizio Savona is closing up on Jan Barth. So, what have we got coming up this weekend on Formula Racing League TV, I hear you ask? Well, tomorrow there is going to be some live streaming yet again, as it is the 12 hours of Silverstone on Assetto Corsa ACC for FRL. It's the SimNet 12 hours of Silverstone. I believe the race start, or it's going to be live on air from around about 9-10 AM tomorrow morning. So that is scheduled to be live tomorrow. So keep your eyes out for that. And I believe most of the 12 hours will be live commentary as well. It's certainly going to be streamed in terms of the race and be on auto camera at some stages throughout the 12 hours, but I believe they've got a couple of commentators lined up tomorrow. I won't be on commentary tomorrow for that, but my fellow commentators will be covering the 12 hours of Silverstone on ACC with Formula Racing League TV. So what we need to keep our eyes on is just the drivers making the pit stops. We're going to be expecting the hypercars coming in shortly, I would imagine, down to 18, under 20% now for a lot of these hypercars. So yeah, we're going to be expecting the stops in the next 10 minutes easily, and they're just having to navigate a few GT3 cars there going into Parabolica. So 46 minutes remaining. They've done 30 just over half hour of the race distance so far. So yeah, it will be a one stop. Please do pop a comment in the YouTube live chat if you are watching. It's always good to see the comments flying in. So let me know who you're supporting, let me know who you want to see on the camera. I'll do my best to put them on board. And on board now, Alex Nieto, because he's now closing in on Daniel Lysick. Lysic's had an error, hasn't he? Because Lysick was battling away with Bigot. So I'm not sure what happened to Danilo Lysick, but he's had a moment. He's dropped all the way down into P8. And that has now opened the door to Alex Nieto. We're on board with the Porsche driver now. In terms of Kasperzik, who we saw made an error, his pace has really dropped off. He's now 5 seconds off Leonardo Vera. Joseph Chada is still 1.7 off Kasperzik. So Kasperzik losing time to Vera, but he's not really. But Joseph Chada is not gaining on Kasperzik either, so bit of stalemate between P2 and 3, but Leonardo Vera now has, I would say, one hand on this race win, but it is only 5 seconds, but that gap very well might increase as the next 10-15 minutes goes on. And Johannes Priest still enjoying an 11-second lead out in front of the hypercar category in the overall race win, on board with Jan Barth, because him and Cody Besselink are getting extremely cozy together as a little bit of brake locking goes on there. I think that was Jan Barth or Med Besselink, one of the two, just locked one of the front left tyres ever so slightly going into Ascari, and they've got to be careful because this is Mauricio bonus involved as well. This is a battle for P10. You've got P10, 11 and 12 all on your screens, and that is Alex Alfonso as well, I believe, potentially in the background. Is it Alfonso? It is. So it's a four-way battle at the back of Hypercar, P10 to 13. So Besselink, Barth, Maurizio, Alex, four-way battle for P10. Ooh, as Besselink's made a mistake. Is that going to open the door to Jan Barth? Oh, more brake locking from Besselink. So Barth's got ahead. Or was that Maurizio? I think that's Maurizio locking his brakes. So look at this. Four-way battle. It doesn't matter if you're not battling for first and second, you're battling for P10, and this is kind of the action, the level of driving you have to kind of get used to if you want to race with FRL, because this is just, again, really competitive driving from all four of these drivers. So there's more brake locking from the BMW. I mean, Besselink's really struggling with his braking. Now, a number of times we've seen on board with Maurizio. Oh, he's locked his brakes, and Alex Alfonso is going to go right on through, surely. He is. Alex Alfonso, I'll take that. You can't lock your brakes there, sir. Over in GT3, we've got again another three-way battle developing for P8. So Lysick, who's made a mistake, got brought back into the battle with Alex Nieto. Well, Nieto's been pushed along by Rudy Vermeulen. So Rudy Vermeulen is in P10, but he's got Nieto and Lysick in his sights in P8 and 9. So another interesting battle shaping up towards the rear of the respective packs. Oh, there's a very wide there for Vermeulen. I think he had to get out the throttle a little bit because he was closing quite quickly on the Porsche. And he kind of lifted off. I think there's some lift-off understeer there in the BMW. As we've got Kasperzik is boxing. So Kasperzik is in the box. He's the first GT3 driver, the first driver overall to pit. So Kasperzik is in the pits. He's going to be fixing that damage. So let's just see what Joseph Chadha does. Will he respond? I think he's going to be confident that he will come out ahead if he knows Kasperzik will be fixing any damage. But could Kasperzik lose out even further to Bigot? Let's just see. He's still in the pit, Kasperzik. He's now leaving, so the car got dropped down off the jacks and now leaving the pit lane. So let's just see if Joseph Chadha responds. I don't think he will, but then again, what do I know? Down to 4% as well for Johannes Priest, so we were expecting the hypercars in at any moment. Chadha just coming around Parabolica now. Is he going to box? He isn't. My instinct was correct. He's not. He's going to continue on. So Kasperzik is down in P12. He's back out on track and he's 25 seconds back. Derek has had a really bad race. He's down in P13. He's 49 seconds off Kasperzik. Back on board with this four-way battle at the rear of the pack is Alex Alfonso and Maurizio Savona are going at it, hammer on tongue yet again. So Savona is going to switch to the left and they're going to be side by side down the start-finish straight into the heavy braking of turn one. It's down, it's just as a switch. The Peugeot tries and switches the line, tries to catch Alex Alfonso, tries to catch Besselink off guard. Besselink didn't fall for it, he kept to his line, but Alfonso there with a bit of trickery trying to get past Cody Besselink in P11. So Leonardo Vera, he's still running, he's not boxed yet. He's got a 7-8 second lead as we've got the hypercars now coming in. So Geitz, Adamu, Johannes Priest, Illinger and Modin are all boxing. Adam Sesplar has continued, so he's got an extra lap. So let's just see where Geitz and Priest emerge. Timo Braun and João Pedro Sodra, they've continued. So Priest is on the exit. Priest is now coming out of the pit. Where is Brandon Geitz? He's now leaving as well. He had to get a very tight exit away from the Ferrari of Francesco Adamu. So Priest is now coming out. What traffic is he going to have on exit? He's got a Ford Mustang there on exit, and I think he's pretty clear behind. As he's locked his brakes into turn one, he's going to have to skip it. He's going to have to skip it, and that's Chris Jones on track behind, but it's not really for position. Adam Sesplar though, just see what he does. He's going to have to surely box this lap. As you can see, the energy remaining on the left hand side of your screen, he's only got 2% remaining, so this will be a box for Adam Sesplar surely. It is. So those box. So Johannes Priest, he is your net race leader, but he's struggling on those cold tyres. See how squirrely the Peugeot was there through Les Mo's 1 and 2. He certainly lost time though, Brandon. His gap was 11 seconds, wasn't it? Johannes Priest. It's not that now, about 6 seconds. So his gap's pretty halved in the pit lane. And Timo Braun and João Pedro Sodra also pit in. So Priest is now coming around Parabolica and Adam Sesplar is still in the pits. So he's now dropped down though, so this might won't be close between Priest and Sesplar. It'll just be interesting to see where Sesplar emerges. He's on the pit exit now. So Geitz goes ahead into P2. He's going to emerge P3. So P3 for Adam Sesplar. And there's Adamu just arriving there into turn 1. As the light at Monza just starting to fade ever so slightly. You can see the headlights just becoming more and more apparent here on the cars. There's a Ferrari battle here. Adam Moden and Dominic Illinger for P5 and P6. João Pedro Sodra emerges from the pit lane in P8. And Timo Biggert is now coming into the pits, as is Leonardo Vera. So, where is Kasperzik? As the drivers ahead are all boxing. So Kasperzik's now coming out of the Ascari, going down into Parabolica. So where is he going to be compared to Leonardo Vera? Well, Leonardo Vera is well ahead. More importantly, where's Joseph Chadha? He's leaving the pit lane. So Joseph Chadha is leaving, as is Danny Gore. I think Kasperzik is in big trouble here for losing a lot of places. So Danny Gore is on the pit exit. You see the drivers are having to struggle to get out of the pit box and how close it is. Biggert is leaving. So where is Kasperzik? Oh, Kasperzik's got by. So Kasperzik he's lost out to Chadha. He's lost out to Joseph Chadha Kasperzik, but he's still ahead of Danny Gould as he's now coming out of the pit lane. Got to be careful with the hypercar coming up on the outside of him. Does it just avoid each other? Yes. Biggert, Rudy Vermeulen, Ly6. So Ly6 got ahead of Rudy Vermeulen coming out of the pits. So every driver has pretty much stopped now, and let's just do the positions gained and lost, and you'll be able to see, particularly in GT3 actually. Let's just bring that up to you. So Danny Gould up 5 places. He's certainly going to be my driver of the day so far. But then again, Rudy Vermeulen is also up 5. But so yeah, fantastic race performances from Rudy Vermeulen and Danny Gould, both up 5 places respectively. Pavel Vetlugin's down 3. So let's just re-establish where we are. Johannes Priest is leading this race with a 7.3 second lead to the sister Peugeot of Brandon Geitz. Adam Sesplar is P3, Francesco Adamu is P4, and Adam Moden is 5th in Hypercar. Over in GT3, Leonardo Vera leads this race of a 14 second lead back to Joseph Chadha in the Porsche. He's P2. P3 is Kasperzik, who was at one point was leading this race, but had a huge moment in Lesmo 1, lost the rear of the car, went around, then he boxed early, had a longer stop and lost out to Joseph Chadha in the pit stops. Danny Gould, one of my drivers of the day thus far, up 5 places into P4 in GT3 category, the Mustang driver going well tonight. And then 5th place is Timo Biggert. We'll bring you the other drivers up and down the grid outside of the top 5 a little bit later on. In fact, let's do it now because the on-track action is just a little bit spread out as the drivers just re-establish the tyres, re-establish the cars, re-establish the pace following the pit stops. So let's just bring you the rest of the order actually. So P6 in Hypercar is Dominic Illinger. Timo Braun, the BMW, is P7. And João Pedro Sodré is P8. Chris Jones, the head admin at FRL for Le Mans Ultimate, he's P9, got himself into the top 10 with Jan Barth following behind in P10. Besselink is P11 and Alex Alfonso P12, with some flashing lights going on there with Maurizio Savona, the last running hypercar. GT3 in P6 is Danilo Lasik, with Craig Starkey back 16 seconds back down the road from him in P7. Rudy Vermeulen P8, Mark Stewart P9 in the Aston Martin, and Pavel Vetlugens is P10. 11th is Nigel Longdon. Alex Nieto, who was all the way, it was a lot higher, he's lost out as well. Alex Nieto's had a bit of a shocker as well. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but Nieto's lost a lot of positions. He's P12. Derek is P13. And Cole Van Horn and Tom Curtin are both DNF. You can see the cars there parked in the garage. It's a shame because Cole Van Horn and Tom Curtin both had promising qualifying positions, so not really sure what's happened to those two drivers. On board with Timo Biggett and Danny Gould, because they're side by side going down the start finish straight. What a camera shot as the Mustang and BMW are side by side into the heavy braking off turn 1, both slamming the brakes on the ABS kicking in. Danny Gould is ahead of the BMW. Danny Gould remains in P4. We've got a spinner there as well. Who was that? Not sure who that was, or the car spinning around. Couldn't quite catch who it was. We're just under half hour remaining in this race. I've just given you the running order, the runners and riders of tonight. As a reminder, top 3 in Hypercar: Johannes Priest, Brandon Guide, Adam Seflar. Top 3 in GT3: Leonard Oliveira, Joseph Chada and Kasperzik. And we're on board with Timo Biggett and Danny Gould. They're battling away for P4 and 5 in GT3. They've got a hypercar BMW on the right hand side. Biggett is in the slipstream of that Mustang. That Mustang, though, as we know, is absolutely rapid around these corners of Monza. Through Ascari they go. Oh, and the Mustang's had a pretty poor exit, and that's going to open the door to Biggett. Is he going to have the run on Danny Gould? He has. He's ahead so far into Parabolica. Is Danny Gould going to compromise his entry and try and get a better exit and slip in behind BMW to get that lovely toe down the start finish straight? I think he is. He's going to certainly have a strong slipstream effect here. Biggett goes all the way to the right hand side of the track, now switches all the way to the left. The door is open down the inside for Danny Gould. Is he going to take the invitation and go down the inside? No, he's early on the brakes. Is he just trying to fool Biggett into a mistake potentially, or was he not quite close enough? I don't know, but I thought the door was open there for Danny Gould for a bit of a send, but he didn't take the bait. So, 27 minutes remaining, and I'll be back with you in a couple of moments' time to bring you the final stint of this race for round 5 at Monza. I'll be back with you shortly. And I'm back with you as we start the next lap here on board with Timo Biggett. We just saw Danny Gould making a mistake on the exit of Lesmo 2, and that gave the opportunity to Timo Biggett to come flying on through. So the BMW driver up into 4th place and Danny Gould just tucking in behind. So the battle between these two might go all the way to the checkered flag in this final 24 minutes. So that is the closest battle on track at the moment, I believe. No, it isn't. Maurizio Savona is side by side with Alex Alfonso just behind Biggett and Gould down on the track. So into turn 1, what a great shot that is of the two cars go flying on by. The 94 Peugeot down the inside. Now he's on the outside. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. They don't spin. It's not enough contact to spin the Peugeot around. And Alex Alfonso stays ahead of Maurizio Savona. Great race in the battle for P12 and 13. This is the last of the runners in the hypercar category, but the battling is still ferocious as ever, as you would imagine, as you would expect. And Jan Barth as well and Besseling, these two have been going at each other all race. Jan Barth and Besseling and just still hunting each other down, trading lap times. Battle for P10 and 11th. As you can see on the left hand side of your screens, the top 5 in each respective category. Johannes Priest enjoying an 8-second lead to Brandon Geitz, and the gaps in the top 5 of hypercar fairly spread out. Over in GT3 again you can see a 12-second lead for Leonardo Vera. Chadder and Kasperzik fairly close, but I'll tell you who is closer is Biggett and Danny Gould. They're yet again battling away. Danny Gould not yet giving up on the chase for P4. He lost it a couple of laps ago. He's trying to hunt it back. The BMW though just getting a little bit tail happy in the under braking there into turn 1 and 2. The Mustang we know will be quicker in a straight line. Mark Stewart, driver we've not covered too much as it's currently 3 wide exit of Parabolica. Mark Stewart in the Aston Martin, he's just gaining on Pavel Lugens. That's the BMW driver you can see. So they're now side by side, Mark Stewart and Pavel Lugens. A battle for P9. Mark Stewart is he going to have a move down the inside of the BMW driver? Is he going to be close to that on the braking? No, he isn't. He's just going to tuck in behind. And Pavel Lugens hasn't to get the BMW slowed down. Under braking does a good job. So Vetlugens continues ahead of the Heart of Racing Aston Martin. Not seen too much of Mark Stewart on stream tonight, but he's doing his best to get on the camera tonight now with this battle with Vetlugens. That is the new variant of the Aston Martin as well, the Aston Martin Evo, which is the first sim actually to cover the new Evo variant. I don't believe ACC doesn't have it. They certainly don't have it, and iRacing hasn't got the Evo variant yet either. So yeah, Le Mans Ultimate, thumbs up for the new Evo Aston Martin. I'm surprised we've not got more of it on the grid actually. I think Mark Stewart is the only Aston on the grid. Danny Gould and Biggett still trading lap times and sector times. 0.7 the gap now. This really is a beautiful time of the evening. I keep mentioning it, but it's just a stunning evening at Monza. I mean, look at the sun just really setting now, and the headlights of the cars. It does look fantastic, I must admit. Oh, was that hypercar almost just the closing speed and the cornering there, almost just catching himself out as Danny Gould again just dips the rear left tyres into that gravel. That's going to compromise his exit against Timo Biggett. Jan Barr from Besselink. Still chasing down Besselink. Apologies, I was just having a moment. Cody Besselink's rear view camera has not worked all night. That's the current review we get when we try and go on board with the rear view camera of Cody Besselink, so no idea what's happening there tonight. Technical issue on board the BMW there. So, you will notice as well, the front row, first places 1 and 2 in Hypercar is occupied by Peugeot. So, Monza, Ferrari's home track, is currently being spoiled by Peugeot. Here is your race leader, just absolutely flawless tonight, Johannes Priest. What we'll do for the final round of this season, as we go into the final round, we'll obviously bring you next week. We'll bring you the updated standings as to where everyone is in the running order for the championship and for the most importantly for the prizes as well on offer from Cube Control. But what we'll try and do for the final round is try and give you all the permutations as to who needs to finish where to win the championship and win the title in the respective hypercar and GT3 categories. So I'll do some work with the admin team over at FRL and try and get all that worked out and get the mathematics. Mathematics is not always my strongest point, as some people watching might know and might be laughing at that. And but yeah, we'll try and work that out for you. I wonder if a couple of my teammates are watching on the live stream. They've been very quiet in the chat tonight. If they are, we've actually got a race tomorrow. I'm racing tomorrow over on ACC in an endurance race, so I'll be live streaming tomorrow as well. So there you go, just a little plug for my live stream tomorrow over on Robinson Racing 336 if you want to watch the commentator of Le Mans Ultimate take part in the 4 hours of Laguna Seca tomorrow. Mark Conway, no comment. He is. I had a sneaky suspicion my teammates were watching tonight, and there he is, Mark Conway, sliding on in there on the YouTube live chat. So yeah, Mark and I are both taking part in the 4 hours of Laguna Seca tomorrow on ACC. We've qualified P11 on the grid tomorrow. So yeah, come over on Robinson Racing 336 if you want to watch my live stream. In fact, I'm going to actually pop a comment in now, just so you can click subscribe on my channel. There you go, there's a little plug. That's my channel in the YouTube live chat there. That's the first time I've plugged my channel all season, so allow me 2 minutes while I did that. Anyway, back to the action before I get told off by my boss, Chris Jones. In fact, talk about Chris Jones. Let's have a quick look where he is, because he doesn't like being on the live stream, but I like putting him on. He's actually going quite well tonight. P9 so far, Chris Jones. He's just making his way past the BMW. So where is he gaps wise? He's in a pretty comfortable position really. He's 33 seconds behind Timo Braun, 43 seconds ahead of Cody Besselink. So yeah, not much pressure there. Maurizio Savona and Alex Alfonso are still battling away in P12 and 13. Jan Barth as well. Yet again, for the 5th or 6th time tonight, we've joined them on board. Still trying to hunt down Cody Besselink. Battle for 10th place. Lots of traffic to navigate here. We've got the blue flags being shown to a number of GT drivers. Now, just switching our attention to the top 5 in Hypercar, because the gaps were fairly steady at one point, but the last few minutes, Francesco Adamu, who is, I believe, the championship leader in Hypercar, is just closing in on Adam Sesplod. 2 seconds the gap, just under 2 seconds. That's just come down ever so slightly. So Francesco Adamu potentially on a little bit of a late charge as we're nearly approaching the final 10 minutes of this race. Mark Conway, can't even follow on screen, green box. I've no idea what you mean, Mark. Back of the pack, it's been pretty hot all night and it's going to remain hot, I think, for the final 11 minutes. Jan Barth, Alex Alfonso, Maurizio Savona, three-way battle for P11, 12th and 13th. Each driver just trying to follow each other at this moment in time, and following each other very well at the moment, just waiting for one of them to make a mistake. It's all pretty even so far. Each car taking the corners, the braking zone, the apexes, as you would expect. You can see the lights at the front of the BMW really is lit up like a Christmas tree, isn't it, with the front grills like that. Very close now though, Alex Alfonso and Jan Barth. This is so close between these drivers. This is 4 drivers here: Cody Besselink, Jan Barth, Alex Alfonso, Maurizio Savona. That's Jan Barth down the inside. Is Alex Alfonso going to have a better exit? He might do. Is he going to get in the slipstream of Cody Besselink and help pull him along I think he is. So Alex Alfonso moves up ahead, but as comes back by Jan Barth. They're going to be side by side. In the background is Maurizio Savona into turn 1, braking. Locking the brakes from Jan Barth. Again, and there's more contact, a little bit of a rear kiss from Maurizio Savona on the rear of Jan Barth. So Barth losing out to Alfonso there. So that is P12 now for Jan and P11 for Alex Alfonso. So Bestelink really struggling with pace here. He's pretty much holding up all 3 cars behind him. This is a bit of Bestelink's a bit of a cork in the bottle. And you can see that all 4 of them here. This is P10 to P13. On your screens. So P10, P11, P12, P13. As we can see up ahead, Alfonso and Bestelink side by side into Parabolica. Can't get my words out. The Peugeot looks like he's got a lot wider line than he's got compromised with the AstroTurf on the left hand side. That compromised his exit, compromised his traction. Jan Barth might just have an opportunity here in the toe of Alex Alfonso, the Peugeot. He is. Is Jan Barth going to go for the send? He looks to the inside, he looks to the left, he goes right, goes left. Onto the rear brake lights. Come on for Alex Alfonso. Jan Barth a little bit deep into turn 1. Might straighten up better for the exit of turn 2. But he still remains in P12. Maurizio Savona just in behind as well, watching all of this going on board with Maurizio, as you can see how close he is, just watching the 3 cars up ahead battle away. So into turn 3 and 4, they've got GT3 cars in the way. That could be Bigot and Gold, I think it is. That's Bigot and Gold. So the for 4th and 5th in GT3 there, as these guys go on through, that's actually go on board with Gold and Bigot. So these two have been battling, and they're now side by side as Bigot makes some mistakes into Lesbo 1. Danny Gould down the inside, up into P4 for Danny Gould. Bigot is going to have the run though. He's going to have an opportunity to go on board with the BMW. Has a look, doesn't send it. That would have been a very risky move going into a Ascari, but Danny has gone deep into the Ascari, and again Bigot is just going to have an opportunity now. These two have been back and forth at each other all race long. Going into Parabolica, he's almost on the grass. Bigot is almost on the grass. Is he going to go down the inside? He does. He has a look down the inside. The BMW on the Mustang. Timo Bigot, Danny Gould. Oh, he doesn't make it stick. Danny Gould just manages to stay ahead, and that Mustang is going to be absolutely rapid in a straight line. Again, has a look to the inside. He's going to make a move. No, he's not. I was getting very... I was for sure thinking he was going to be later on the brakes, the BMW, but fantastic braking from Danny Gould in the Mustang just to stay ahead of Bigot. So great driving from these two. These two have been fantastic entertainment this evening, but it's not over yet. There's still another 5 minutes remaining, and it's certainly not going to be over going into the second chicane, as Bigot just has a sneaky switcher left to try and put Danny off, and Danny's had a poor traction. That's going to be the door wide open for the BMW. Is he going to make a move up into Lesmo 1? No. The door is slammed shut by the Mustang, but Lesmo 2 is coming up. They've got a hypercar on the right hand side as well. The traction of the BMW just braking for a moment, but keeping it under control. They're both pretty much like Scale Electric's cars, picking the braking point at the exact same time. So through Lesmo 1s and 2 they go, down the straight, up the hill, down the hill, underneath the bridge, up into Ascari. They're battling away for P4. The two, Leonardo Vera and Chadder, are well up the road, but these two don't care. They're battling away. They want these championship points on the table. Every position matters. Every point matters. Again, having a look, Bigot just not close enough. He's doing everything to try and put off Danny Gould in the Mustang. Danny's having none of it. Got a bit wide there, Danny, though. 2 tyres almost across the white line. That's not... Has it compromised his traction? I don't know, but Bigot is very close this time round. We can see on board with Danny Gould how close that BMW is. Watch the BMW go left or right. It goes left. Side by side into turn 1, under braking. The Mustang is now on the outside. Now he's got the inside of turn 2. The BMW switches back for the better exit. Is he going to do the switcheroo? It's not. The traction of the Mustang is just absolutely epic, but the BMW is far from out of it. Is he going to get a run round the outside going into turns 3 and 4, the second chicane? Defensive line from the Mustang. Almost on the grass, the BMW's on the grass. He's oh, blimey! He's managed to keep it. I'm just watching this with trying to hold my breath. I thought he was going to lose the control of the car. He almost did. You can see the braking just bucking like a wild bronco in the Wild West there. How twitchy the BMW. Timo Bigot is absolutely sending it on the Mustang. Just can't make the gains. 2 and just under 3 minutes remaining. 2 minutes 50 seconds to go in this race. The checkered flags. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake from Timo Bigot. He really had to get out of the braking zone there. He almost ran into the rear of the Mustang, Danny Gould. I think he just completely, for a moment, just lost where he was when it comes to the braking zone. Absolutely flying full on to try and catch the Mustang, and he's just made a mistake there, and that could be his race done in terms of the battle for P4. Danny Gould now 1.8 second lead ahead of Timo Bigot, so yeah, that's just a mistake from Bigot there. It's cost him P4 potentially. As I was saying, or about to say, Johannes Kreis, we're about to tick away into the final couple of laps of this race. We're going to have 2 laps remaining across the line. So 2 laps remaining here for round 5 at Monza as the night is starting to draw upon us here at Monza for round 5. Johannes Kreis has been absolutely flawless tonight. He started P2. He got ahead of Brandon Geitz when the green flag dropped, and since he's took the lead of the race, he's just been flawless. He lost out on pole position, but he's only a lap and a half away from not losing out on the race win and that all-important championship points for finishing first place. Francesco Adamu, though, the battle for the final place on the podium is certainly far from over. I mentioned about 10-15 minutes ago that Adamu was closing in on Adam Sesplar. Well, you can see it now on your screens. Adam Sesplar, the driver in front in the final podium place, but only half a second gap separates between him and Francesco Adamu in P4, the number 51 Ferrari. We're on board with the Ferrari driver now in P4, Francesco Adamu. So Johannes Kreis starts the final lap of this race. He's enjoying a 13-second lead, so he's just got to get this car around one more lap and he will take the checkered flag as the race winner in about 1 minute's time. Brandon Geitz is P3, Adam Sesplar and Adamu. 1 lap remaining for Adamu. He tries to look to the inside to see if he can put Sesplar off, but he was way too far back to even try and be in the mind of Adam Sesplar. I think they're going into the braking zone. Over in GT3, Leonardo Vera, 6-second lead for the GT3 driver. Joseph Chadder, P2, and Kasperzik, after the mistake that has cost him this race win potentially, is in P3. Kasperzik was your race leader in the championship, and he's going to lose out on some important important championship points to his rivals Chada and Leonardo Vera. Danny Gould and Biggett are still battling away, but Biggett, after have we seen that mistake going into Ascari, has cost him his shot at P4. We'll bring you the rest of the order at the end of this race, because we're going to see Johannes Priest is going to be one more corner to go in round 5 at Monza. Round Parabolica he goes. The 93 Peugeot is going to spoil the Ferrari parade at Monza. The flashing lights. Here he comes. The checkered flag is waving. And that is your race winner here for round 5. What a drive from Johannes Priest. What a drive. Absolutely flawless. I think that was a number 1 single at one point as well, wasn't it? I'm not going to sing it this week. You will be forgiven for some commentator karaoke. As let's just go to Francesco Adamu, because that gap has mightily closed, and Cesplar is going to take 3rd place. Adamu is going to go home in 4th. Where is the GT3's Leonardo Vera? He's got one more lap to go, I believe. This is where I'm slightly in the dark. I can't actually tell who's took the checkered flag or not, so I do apologise, but I believe Leonardo Vera has still got one more lap to go. Kasperzak might have already taken the checkered flag. He's in the pits in P3. Chada is still going, so yeah, Leonardo Vera has not yet taken the checkered flag. Drivers behind have. So we'll stay on board with Leonardo Vera and watch him take the flag as the race winner in GT3, unless something absolutely catastrophic happens in the next couple of corners. So around Parabolica he goes, the front bumper just scraping along the tarmac there, the ride height dipping under the pressure of braking, the suspension dipping down onto the track, but it does not matter because Leonardo Vera in the Ford Mustang takes the checkered flag, takes the race win in GT3. Joseph Chada comes home in a very competitive and respectable P2 finish. Kasperzak was 3rd place, Biggett and Gould 4th and 5th. Biggett got ahead of Danny Gould. I have no idea what happened there. We completely missed that. Danny Gould was well ahead. Well, he was a second and a half ahead of Timo Biggett, wasn't he? So I'm not sure what happened there, but according to my telemetry, Timo Biggett takes 4th, Danny Gould is 5th. So let's bring you the full rundown. Let's start with hypercar category. That was your race. Wow, blimey, what a race. So session results. Let's bring you the race. So, Johannes Priest, your race winner in hypercar, 50 laps completed, 11 seconds back. It's Brandon Geitz in P2, Adam Cesplar in the first Ferrari on the row on the grid in P3. You know, you might be expected Ferrari to dominate at Monza, but the Peugeot locks out the front row with Johannes Priest and Brandon Geitz. Francesco Adamu P4. Adam Moden P5, Dominic Illingo is 6th, João Pedro Sodra in a very respectable P7 for him, Timo Braun in the BMW for P8, Chris Jones P9 and Cody Besselink managed pretty much to survive the charging Jan Barth in P11. Maurizio Savona finished 12th and Alex Alfonso finished 13th. GT3. Leonardo Vera was your race winner for the 44 Mustang driver. Joseph Chada yet again coming home on the podium in P2. Vital championship points for him. Kasperzak P3 in the 46 BMW. Timo Biggett somehow got ahead of Danny Gould at the end there. We're not sure how. We didn't see it on screen, but Biggett finishes ahead of Danny Gould in 4th. Craig Starkey, a respectable, very good finish for him in P6. Rudy Vermeulen P7. Pavel Bet-Lugens P8. Mark Stewart 9th. Nigel Longden, who I believe was towards the back of the grid in qualifying, comes home in 10th place. Great result for Longden. Alex Nieto was 11th. Derek was 12th. Derek was D&F, beg your pardon. Carl Van Horn, Tom Curtin and Danilo Lasik, all D&F. Lasik is actually showing as disqualified. So we saw him dropping back through the pack with about half hour remaining, so I'm not sure what happened to Lasik, but he's showing us as disqualified from the race. The other DNF I forgot to mention in Hypercar as well, so apologies for that, was Patrick Den. Patrick Den DNF'd quite early on in the race for the Hypercar, and he was actually the only Hypercar retiree tonight. So that was round 5 of Season 2 Le Mans Ultimate at Formula Racing League. We're only 3 weeks away, 3 weeks to go in this season, and next week we're going to bring you the championship standings, because the championship standings are going to be extremely close between a number of drivers. I have not got the mathematical skills to bring you the live championship points this very moment, but next week, on air around about 7:45, we head to Bahrain, May the 25th. We'll bring you a full rundown of where everyone is in the championship, as we're literally coming up to crunch time in this season now. So Bahrain is next week. May the 30th, we come back to Italy for the penultimate round, which is Imola, and then June the 6th, we're at Le Mans. Le Mans for the season finale, the no chicane variant. That is going to be the season finale here for Season 2 and Formula Racing League TV. And I'm pretty confident in saying this championship battle in both GT3 and Hypercar is going to go down to that Le Mans race on June the 6th, and we're going to see who wins the mega prizes up for grabs from Cube Controls. And what we'll do as well, we'll try and get the championship winners from both Hypercar and GT3 lined up for some live on-air interviews on June the 6th post-race. Whoever wins the championship, we'll try and get them on air. Maybe we could even try and get a representative from Cube Controls. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do over here at FRL. I'll speak to the admins and see what is possible. So, well, I'm absolutely knackered. Apologies for being a little bit late on air tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's just how today's gone. But I hope you all enjoyed the race, and I hope everyone has a cracking weekend, whatever you've got lined up. Yeah, there's plenty of action to come as well. If you're in the mood for watching some more sim racing content tomorrow, there's plenty about. Formula Racing League is going to be streaming the 12 hours of Silverstone over on ACC tomorrow morning. And if you want to watch the commentator, me, Lewis Robinson, then please do check out my live stream channel, because I will also be streaming the 4 hours of Laguna Seca tomorrow. So if you want to come in and say hi and support my live stream, feel free to do so. But please do make sure you jump on the live stream for Silverstone tomorrow, because the endurance racing on ACC is always good fun. The commentators always need a little bit of moral support in the live chat during those streams, because it's not always on track action at some points during those endurance races. So any engagement you can give the commentators tomorrow on air will be very much appreciated. From me and everyone at Formula Racing League, thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week at Bahrain. Bye bye.